take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never...
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I just thought I would sit down and do a chit chat, get ready with me, kind of catch you up on everything that's going on in my life and just kind of hang out together while I get ready. If you can see behind me, I've been doing some decluttering and reorganizing, which makes my nieces very happy and my friends very happy. But I've decided that I'm just tired of storing things that I'm never going to touch again. I want my storage to be used for things I am going to use, and I don't want to have to filter through everything when I'm looking for something. So, you know, it might take me a while to come around, but eventually I get it. But in the process, I ran across these two palettes, the Lorac Unzipped and the Lorac Unzipped Gold. And I haven't touched these in a long time. And I think the reason that I kind of avoid these, which is just a stupid reason really, is that there's not a mid-tone transition color really. And so when I open it and I look at it, I think, I'm going to have to pull in something else. And unfortunately, this baby was the recipient of a blow from falling from a high cliff, a high shelf, and there's a little bit of damage there. So I need to clean it up a little bit before I really get started with it. But I thought maybe if I combine the two, I can come up with something without having to pull something else in. We'll see how it goes. But if you'd like to see what I came up with, and if you'd like to go ahead and stick around and chit chat with me while I get ready, please keep watching. The best thing that I could come up with as far as a transition color is this light pink shade called Undressed, and this is in the Lorac Gold. So I thought I would start off with that as a transition color using my ABH Cosmetics blender, and we'll see. My blender has had better days, actually. But anyway, I'm going to also pull my wastebasket right next to me and tap off into it because Lorac shadows are kind of like the Subculture shadows, and they're very pigmented and very powdery. So if you don't tap off, you'll end up with some fallout. So let's just not do that. So I'm back to school, guys. Oh my goodness. I started working a lot earlier this year in my room, and I always start earlier thinking, okay, this year I'm going to have it all together by the time the kids get here. And every year I find out that I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. Anyways, my roster for my class changed about 18 times, and I learned from the past not to make anything with names on it or number anything until usually at least a week has gone by, because it ends up being out of alphabetical order, you know, and God forbid things get out of alphabetical order, but it just makes for easier grading and easier putting grades into the computer and things like that. So I have a very interesting group of kids, and I don't really know them well yet. You know, they're kind of all unsure of me and not exactly sure how things work at our school yet. So some of them are reacting by being really shy, and others are reacting by acting out. So it's been kind of a mix of all that. And of course, Monday, our first day of school, was the solar eclipse. So there was a whole added element of excitement. But it was the first time I had ever seen an eclipse, and our district bought glasses for the whole district. And so we got to go out and look at it. It was actually really interesting and really cool. You just kind of look up and think, oh my gosh, God is just amazing. None of this can be explained. Some of it can be explained with science, but you know what I'm saying. You can't look at something like that and not think, you know, what an incredible creator we have. So anyways, all right. So all that really did was make my eye look lighter. And so I guess what I'm going to do is go into the other palette. And I really don't have a plan here. This color, Unconditional, right here, is a really beautiful color, and I think that's what I'll try to do. I'll go in with a denser brush and maybe just try to go in really slow with it and see how that works as a transition. I'm going to use the Morphe M521. It's kind of a larger version of a 433. But again, I'm going to tap real lightly and tap off until I see what kind of color I'm working with here. I really have not used these palettes at all. I've used the shimmery shades on my lid, and that's about it. So this is a discovery video as well. So actually, I'm going to go back in and just put it on one side of my brush and turn it over and just kind of concentrate in the upper part of my crease for now. Oh wow, that's really pretty. I like that. And that's going to work just fine as a transition here. It's kind of a combination transition and crease deepener. So in one of my videos that I did a voiceover on yesterday, I was talking about my mirror being at the repairman. I got a Simple Human lighted rechargeable mirror for partially as a gift to myself for my birthday, and my mom paid for half of it. And so I really didn't realize how much I was needing something like that until I got it. And now I didn't realize how spoiled I was until I didn't have it. So I have this little mirror that's like on top of some stuff to make it higher, to have it work with my tripod, and I still feel like I'm having to crane down into it to see it. So anyway, the second time I went to charge it, it didn't light up. And so obviously there's something wrong with the port, or I don't think it's not the charger, because I tried several chargers that had the same kind of outlet as my phone does, and so I had a whole bunch of different chargers, even some that were like brand new in a package that I pulled out just to make sure it wasn't just the charger. But it wasn't. Chargers that worked on everything else didn't work on it. So I don't know if I will end up with a repaired mirror or if I will end up with a new mirror. But either way, I am spoiled and I'm having a hard time reverting back to a mirror that's not nearly as cool. I have to keep my lighted mirror on in order to see what I'm doing and kind of light myself up for videos. But whenever I have the mirror, I have to keep the light off when I'm filming, or it just completely blanks out my face. Wonder how long that hair's been there in the middle of my forehead. I watch people's videos and I think, move that hair, move that hair. So why would I want to do that to you? I do not. And so it's been a busy time. It's always hard to transition back from having a summer break, which hasn't been a break per se. There's always professional development and everything else that goes on in the summer. But it sure is nice to have more freedom. And so you go back into being tired all the time, to having such limited time that you have to really schedule things in order to get everything in, and just not as much. And it's not even necessarily the leisurely time that I miss. I get bored with that most of the time. It's just the freedom to choose when and where, rather than having to schedule everything out. So once I have that place and I'm happy with what I have there, I'm going to go back in with my first blender, and that has a little bit of that transition left on it, or I guess the initial transition that I tried. And just blend that out. I'm not going for anything really big time today. I'm going to church, so I don't like to get extremely glammed out for church, just because I don't know, it just seems like it's out of place or whatever, but I still do sometimes. So I'm not sure what outer corner. The Unzipped Gold is more of chocolates. Let me see if I can hold these up at the same time. The Unzipped Gold is more chocolates and browns and caramels, and the Unzipped, I'm getting them, yeah, Unzipped is more of a pinky, so you know this one is always my favorite, anything that has lots of pink. But I think today I'm going to go in with the shade Unbridled, which is this kind of burgundy shade. It looks a little bit different on the camera than it does here in person, but I'm going to use two different brushes here. The first one is the Coastal Scents BRC N51, and I just don't have enough hands, you guys. This one it's a flat but kind of tapered brush. It has a rounded point, but it's enough to be able to get down into the crevices, and not so pointed that it's, you know, unusable as far as covering any area. But I like to start off with this one to place it, and then I like to take the Morphe M433 and really blow it out and blend it out. Sometimes I can't get enough color with this, but with Lorac I don't think I'm going to have that trouble. So I'm going to place this in my outer corner. Very gingerly. And a little bit into my crease. My husband is such a happy camper in there. He is a football fanatic, and college football is starting, and he's just excited about everything that entails. Okay, I'm going to leave that at that. This is a burgundy, but it has more of a rusty look to it and a less of a pinky look to it. It's pretty though. This doesn't give me an exact placement, but it gives me a little bit more of a placement than a fluff brush, I guess. This one I didn't do as good of a job placing it where I want it. But that's good enough for now. I'm not going to put any product on this brush just yet. I'm going to go in and blend what I have here and see if I need to add to it. If I need to add to it, then I'll just add to it with this brush.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. A world chase.
I think in order to kind of fill in some gaps that aren't filled in there, and just to deepen it a little bit more, I'm gonna add a little bit of product to my brush here. I'm all about building up slowly when it comes to Lorac shadows. They can get out of control really fast, and don't want to have to blend for too long. I think I'm probably an over blender to begin with, but I like things to be really blown out. I don't like there to be any demarcation lines. I'm real happy with that now. Now I gotta fix this one. This one isn't cooperating much. I always have that same issue though. I always have. This eye is always the troublemaker for me. And I think maybe it's just because I'm right-handed. And over on that side it just feels more natural, and over here it feels wrong. But I think I'm getting there. I think that's good. And I always look in my other mirror to see if my colors are even. This one over here needs a little bit more. And sometimes the lighting makes one look darker than the other on the camera, even whenever it's not darker in person. So I promise you I am OCD enough to make sure that the color is even on each side. I promise you. I am too nitpicky for things to be unbalanced. Okay, there's only one area over here that I feel like isn't even. And it's right there into the entrance, right into the crease there. But that took care of things perfectly. All right, and now I'll go back with the previous brush that I used for the transition color. Wait a second, that's not it. This one, the M433, and blend that out just a little bit more and pull across. as you blend, you kind of take away some of the transition colors. So I'm going to go back into that unconditional and add a little bit back, especially right here in the inner area of my crease. All right. I'm really working on projecting my voice whenever I'm actually putting on eyeshadow. I know I have the tendency to just start whispering almost. I guess it's my concentration mode, who knows. I'm going to go ahead and use my E36 by Morphe and use that unconditional, that one, and put that on my lower lash line. Looks like I'm concentrating in the Lorac Unzipped. I'm trying really hard to stay at a better level for you and not crane my neck down into this mirror. I know my setup leaves something to be desired, but with my other mirror, it was really working well for me. And then the mirror gods threw a monkey wrench in my program, guys. It ain't cool. All right. I went about 2/3 across, 2/3 of the way across. Then I'm going to go into the unbridled and just deepen that a little bit on the outer half. And at the very end of this, I'll take the M433 that still has a tiny bit of that unconditional on it and just use that to really blend out the lower lash line. I love using just shadow on my lower lash line. For years I didn't put anything on my lower lash line, including mascara. I wanted that Audrey Hepburn look with just the heavy eyeliner on top and big upper area and nothing on the bottom. But now I want my lower lash line to be defined for sure. Now I'm going to find out which shimmer color I'm going to use. That's where these are a little bit too dark. They're not dark, but they're darker than what I want for my inner area because I want that to be real bright. And so these are going to work out for that perfectly. And I think I'm going to go with Uninhibited, which is right there. Actually, I was pointing to the wrong one, I think. Right there. One of them is a little bit rosier. These remind me of those two colors in the Jaclyn Hill palette, Faint, and I can't remember the other one. Anyways, I'm going to go in with my finger first. And I'm just going to place that. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. Oh my goodness. And this is basically going to go from the center of my lid all the way down into my inner corner. And I'm just going to place it, and then I'll go in with a brush and fill in the missing areas. Like that. I try not to pull so far across, but I do it every time.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known.
What? She's doing it with her left hand? I am not ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. Not even close. All right, so I'm going to go in with the transition brush down into that corner. And then I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more. When I do my annotations, I'll tell you which one is unzipped and which one is gold. A little bit more of unbridled, just to blend together where I pulled that frosty shade across a little too far. And just re-intensify that outer corner. This one I really went too far. It's all about experimentation, right? Alright. I'm going to very slightly pull that back into the crease. And I'm feeling happy with that on my lower lash line. But we'll go in slow and hopefully I will be in frame, or at least you can slightly see what I'm doing. I'll go in slow and go back over it a couple times. And sorry for no talking, but there is no talking when you're doing winged liner, and there is no talking when you do lower lash line mascara. Not unless you want to wear it everywhere. That's looking pretty good. That's looking all right. I'm going to go get after the top ones here.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known.
It's looking a little clumpy, but not too bad. It is definitely building length and volume. And the brush is definitely like Better Than Sex, just a smaller version. Trying to see how far I can build it up without it getting all clumpy. I was going to use some new lashes today, but I think those are going to have to wait because I don't want to be late picking up Becky for church, and I need to still do my hair and get dressed. So I think I'm going to use Little Black Dress, the Kiss Couture, Kiss Couture lashes. They're beautiful. Actually, I lied again. I think I'm going to go in with my tried and true Christina's. I'm sorry. Please don't get sick of me using these, but these are so easy and I never have to worry about a problem with them. So I'm going to use those today just for the sake of having time to do everything else. Putting some Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive on here. I always think I leave myself enough time, and then it gets down to the end of my time and I'm like, oh no, I wanted to do this, that, A, B, and C. And then we go straight to Z. All right, grabbing my e.l.f. tweezers, making sure there's nothing on the tips of them, and going in with my first lash. I'm going to blow on it a little to make sure it's dry or tacky. And I'm not going to drop it. Not going to drop it. All right, here we go. Wow. We lift our eyes to you most high, forever be exalted, forever you will be exalted. And now I've got that song from Elevation in my head. Now there's like a little something on my lash. Come on, man. Throw me a bone here. Gross. Ugh. I don't want to take it back off. I don't know what that is. Maybe a piece of lash glue. Ugh, you guys. I'm gonna leave that guy alone for a minute and go ahead and put the other one on. Look what happens when I brag about you, Christina. It's probably not the product, but the user, right? Oh, good gravy, you guys. I don't know what the problem is today. It must be one of those days it probably would have been better for me not to wear lashes. Okay. Got one there. Praise God. For those of you who didn't know, false eyelashes are a praying matter. For sure. I'm going to add some more glue back to this other one and see what we can do. I don't know what that little crusty thing was. Wasn't cute. All right. Work with me, eyelash. Oh, good gravy, you guys. Come on, man. My eyelashes are, my natural lashes are sticky from the first attempt. There we go. I feel a little bit exhausted after that. I really do. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go in with, I'll just use the same. I'm gonna go in with the Lash Paradise and just make sure that they are meshed together well. Over here, make sure that there's nothing that is white or whatever showing from whatever that was on my lash. Something black on my face here. Train wreck. Train wreck. Hot mess. Hot mess. All right. Let me see if my eyeliner survived the lashes without being messed up. I'm going to grab that liner real quick and go in and cover up any glue that's showing. Let's see. Okay, so here's the finished eye look for you guys, and up close and personal. Hopefully my liner line stayed pretty. But I'm going to go and do my lips, do a little talk for a Lippy 101, and then do my hair, and then I'll be back. So here's the finished look, guys. My lippy is Kat Von D Everlasting Lip Liner in Lovecraft, and the rest of my lip is Meet Matte Hues by The Balm, and it's the shade Committed. So I'm going to actually go to church now. I know this is kind of weird and all over the place, but I'll find a way through editing to patch it together. But I just wanted you to see what I look like with my hair done and everything in place before I have to take off for church. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time and you hanging in there with me while I get used to my new schedule now that I'm back to teaching. But I appreciate your time, and I just love hanging out with you guys. So I'll keep on bringing them to you as long as you keep on watching them. And probably even if you don't. But just saying. Bye, guys.
Take me